show. Hope everyone is having a terrific Tuesday morning. In the studio with me right now, I have City Manager Andrew Bowsher with the Talk of the Town, which is proudly sponsored by Clancy's, Shelby County's oldest fast food restaurant. Nothing fancy, just fantastic food. Good morning. How are you?
I am well, Tracy. How are you?
Did you remember it was Tuesday?
I did remember it was Tuesday, but it did feel a little weird with having the holiday yesterday, right?
I know, because I was talking to Alyssa. I was like, going over. I'm like, I'm still thinking it's Monday. And so I'm like, oh, it's Tuesday. I get to see Sydney Live and Andrew Bowsher. There we go.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's how you start the week off. And since it is a 4-day week, things change a little bit in the city of Sydney, especially with trash, doesn't it?
Yes, it is. That is the big thing, yes, for this week. So trash is pushed a day to the right. Mm-hmm. So just make sure that if normally, you would put your trash out today, it'll be tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, so a little delayed.
Yeah, for me, it will be Friday. There we go.
Yeah.
And the recycling was last week, just saying. I'm actually got it right this week. Next week, nope. Totally different story. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's funny is because we've been, tonight council, because we've actually pushed it a day back. Normally It's Mondays, and we're having a workshop tonight. We're talking 5-year plan and things like that. Mm-hmm. Within the next 5 years, actually, our trash contract is going to be up, and so we're going to be discussing that. Not necessarily tonight, but here in the near future about discussions about, hey, does the city want to take those types of duties and responsibilities back on instead of contracting it, or do we look for another provider? Because I know everybody has, kind of hit and miss sort of days, and some people have more issues with the current contract than others and things of that nature. So we're going to investigate, and see if we can provide better service for our residents.
Yeah,
so.
The pros and cons.
Yes, exactly.
It's that time of year.
Sometimes you get what you pay for. So, it's certainly a trade-off. So, but yeah, 5-year plan will be tonight discussed, forecasted out. We even did some light forecasting within the next 8 to 10 years. And really that's just we've done a lot of great things. We've done downtown plan with city visions. We've been able to do a parks and rec master plan. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of those are things that not necessarily can be program within the next 5 years, but an idea of where the city is heading maybe within the next 10 years and the things that we're going to need in order to get there, right? If we want to have a splash park, right? If we want to have a skate park, if we want to have more trails and connectivity and continue collaboration with the county and continuing our trail system and other things like that, how do we get there? A lot of that talks about dollars and cents, and it's all about kind of programming it and putting it in there, because there's obviously a piece of a pie, and we can only divvy out so much at any given time because we want to make sure that we're still being fiscally conservative. So all that's kind of going to be discussed tonight, so we're excited about that. Last Monday, we did have a council meeting, and kind of recap some of that is the big kind of ticket on there was to discuss flock safety. So I don't know if you recall, but maybe about a year and a half ago, we brought forth the flock safety cameras. So there's some cameras strategically placed throughout the city. There's about 10 of them. And what they do is they run license plates, just a camera that's just constantly on, and then it goes into a database system or anything like that. And it's not looking for, expired tags or anything like that. It doesn't care about that. What it cares about is if you put something in the system, say Piqua PD puts into the system that it's got a stolen car, right? And that stolen car has got a license plate tied to it, or maybe it's just a make and a model, right? And if that make and model happens to cross past that camera, we've got them strategically placed within the city. What ends up happening is it sends our officers an alert immediately. Okay. It also alerts them that, hey, some form of a stolen car had come in. Or let's say somebody happened to have some sort of robbery within town or outside of town or something like that, and somebody got a make, model, and description or a license plate or even partial license plate, we can enter that into the system, and then it's basically like having 10 officers out there standing on street corners just watching and seeing what's happening. So it's worked out really, really well. I got to take a ride along on Thursday.
Nice.
Sometimes I get to get out of the office myself, so shout out to Officer Ibera for letting me ride around with her on seconds. It was really great because probably 2 or 3 times we were able to utilize the system. There was an alleged stolen car, and we were able to track that down because it got pinged a few times within the city, and we were able to, stop that vehicle. So it's a great system. There's about over 200 jurisdictions out there within the state that are utilizing it right now.
Nice.
And we'll probably add a few more cameras in the next year just to kind of bolster up that effect. Because what we think is what's going to end up happening is these criminals are going to get somewhat smart, and they're going to start operating within areas where they know that they can't get hit by certain cameras, or in towns that don't have them. So we want to make sure that we're going to be leading that cutting edge, staying above, and just making sure that we're keeping our residents here safe.
Yeah, that's big city stuff. I love that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And yeah, makes you, now that people are aware, you'll slow down at the stoplights.
Well, it's not a red light camera.
It's not a red light camera.
It's not doing that. It's not Big Brother
I'm
like
wrong.
that. It's not doing that. That was like a big thing. There was a lot of concerns. Is it constantly watching? Is it know our speeds? No, it's not doing anything like that.
Okay.
It's simply there. If we put in information, it will send it back out to us if it happens to see something.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you explained that.
I don't want any angry calls later about people saying, we're
No, that's why I
boundaries."
said
So,
it, because
yes.
people always get that confused. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, it's just for our protection. And if there's, again, like if there's a high-speed chase somewhere, they
Correct.
put the camera, that's also to keep you safe. And yeah, see, I knew that. Sometimes I ask questions, I already know the answer, but I know people are going to ask. There
Yes.
you go. And Officer Ibera, I was her lunch lady, just saying.
Oh, really?
I was. Yeah.
Very nice.
You should ask her. Do you know Tracy? Yes. The sweetest, kindest girl. She's
Yeah.
always so sweet. Please and thank you. I love kids like that. So you guys are very lucky to have her on the police
She's a
department.
great
She's a
officer,
great girl.
and it was definitely a busy day that day. So,
Yeah, that's fun. That's good. Now, how often do you like to do that a couple times a year?
I do. So I've done it with all shifts thus far, and I've kind of started now the second round, and I was talking to the chief and the deputy chief last week, and I think what we're going to do is kind of, every month maybe rotate on one of the shifts and just have a presence and things like that. I want them to know that they can talk to me, and I want to hear what's going on, and I want to. I think it's a great collaboration because I want to show respect and gratitude towards them because they're having to live it every single day in a high stress environment, and the things that they do every single day sometimes just goes unchecked, unwarranted, and I just want to pass on the love and gratitude to them. So.
Yeah, and they really appreciate that. I think it's pretty cool. And also, as we're redoing things here in Sydney, again, I'm going back to that River Summit, which I thought was so great because the towns along the way that we're coming together and doing things and we're supporting each other. And I love that. Sydney's just going to keep getting bigger and better. It's just going to be so much fun, I think. There's going to be all kinds of things. So anyway, I just thought I'd add that because I talk about the River Summit at least once a week.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
It's
It
great.
made an impact. I loved it. I thought it was great.
It was great to be able to host that. This year, coming year, is going to be in Piqua. And it's funny that you mentioned that because our council clerk, Clerk Egbert, she always mentions to all of her friends. She lives in the county, and she's like, you're not even going to notice Sydney within the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
And I love when she says that because A, it gives us a goal to set out there, but B, that's the trajectory that we're on. If we can continue to keep doing the things that we're doing and bringing forth new ideas, new technology, as we've talked about, new development within the city, I mean, it's truly going to change for the better. I think our town, and obviously we want to have amenities that the bigger cities have, but we want to keep that small town charm. And I think we're well on our way on continuing to do that.
Yeah, and I'm going to go back to the pool this year. You guys took that over, did a wonderful job, and I hope that it was successful for you guys because they were so kind and so sweet. And I'm glad that the city took it back over because that's how it was when I was a little kid. You still get that feeling there. So
well, we appreciate that, and I will pass all of those good thank yous on to the park staff that ran that this year. So kudos to them. But I think we'll probably keep it in house, and it's just easier for us to manage it that way.
Yeah, I thought it was great, and it's sad that summer's almost over.
Don't say that.
Don't say that. No, I'm not. Summer might be over, but the warm weather's going to continue. There we go. That's better. That's a positivity. Because, talk of the town, we're bringing all the positivity.
That's right.
That's the point of the show. See, I got to remember, I'm the one that did the commercial. Anyway, well, thank you so much. That was City Manager Andrew Bowsher with the Talk of the Town, proudly sponsored by Clancy's, Shelby County's oldest fast food restaurant. Nothing fancy, just fantastic food. Well, I hope you have a good rest of your week.
Thanks,
even though
Tracy,
it's
as well.
a short week.
It's a good week.
It's a good week. That's
Yeah.
right, it is. See, continuing the positivity. All right, coming up next after a few commercials, got your local weather. It's Hits 105.5.